I like to know where people stand so I know how to treat you accordingly.
They be trying to do it, I'm just doing me. I be working hard and they just want it free.
Be competitive with yourself.
Hey, what's going on? It's Jsean for another video. This video right here is going to be an update on the Tahoe situation. If you watch my prior video, it talks about how I had some issues, some factory issues or whatever was going on, and also a new vehicle pickup update. Let me start with the pickup update. So I was in the market for a Tesla, and then when my Tahoe had some issues, I was actually considering a C8. So being super serious about the C8, I started doing a lot of research, trying to contact different dealerships and just, taking that route, right? So long story short, I found a couple C8s. So I know for a fact if I get one, I want it to be a 2022 or later, right? I want it to be brand new. I don't want to use one. The issue with that is the fact that the markups are crazy. Now, I see videos that's even a year old still during this pandemic situation and with markups, and some people only paying like 5,000 over. I don't know if there's doing like that whole allocation thing. I don't know how that really works, to be honest. So if anybody out there understands how that works, I know you got to put like a deposit and you build your car. That's cool. I don't mind doing that. But I didn't know, I didn't even ask, to be honest, but I didn't know if that was a thing where I could actually start building the vehicle from the dealer or whatever. But my personal dealership that's closest to me and the one that like we got the Tahoe from, so I looked at I either want a Rapid Blue. I even like the Torch Red, I think it's called, the one that looks like a Ferrari red type of red. But I like the Rapid Blue. The red is cool, but that would be a last choice. And I like white. White is kind of more plain, but it's like, it's clean. I just like white cars. As far as the Rapid Blue, I really didn't like it in the beginning until I saw it on the road. And I was like, wow, that looks really nice. It stuck out a lot. And when you get a car like that, like if I got a Lamborghini and my safe colors were black or red or white, with something like a Lambo, you would go crazy. It's okay to get something really out of the box because it's already out of the box. Not like super rare, not rare, but super extra type of car that you don't normally see, at least where I'm at, right? So I just saw a matte black one the other day, actually, when I went out to eat. It was tight too, and it was black, but it's still matte black. They got it wrapped or something. It's not like it was just factory regular paint. So with that being said, the one that I saw, man, it's crazy because the markup, because it's also convertible, right? So I know for a fact, got to be convertible, got to be 2022. If it does have miles, it got to be like super to not like almost nothing. But right now I'm aiming for a brand new. And it has to be convertible. Rapid Blue or white is the main things I'm looking at. I'm more leaning towards Rapid Blue, but I'm still open for white. So the thing of it is, I'll punch in the clip here of the one that I saw. I hate the wheels. The wheels I heard are like for transportation. So I think it comes with some kind of black wheels or maybe the same in black. I'm not really sure, but these are super ugly. I checked out the how it automatically closes and opens. I think that's super tight. I kind of don't like the fact that when you're paying all this money. So if you didn't know, like I didn't know prior, like they got the 1LT, they got the 2LT and the 3LT. So the 2LT is a compromise. The 3LT is a little higher up of what you consider or try to get. 1LT is out of the question for me. I'm not spending that much, especially if I'm paying over MSRP. I'm not getting that type of car and missing out on little subtle things that I feel like you should have. Like, I don't even think it has 360 cameras in it. Unless you can add it separately, I'm not really sure. But from my understanding, it doesn't even have like the camera in the mirror. All kind of like little like upgraded items in the car. You get the standard Bose system where when you go to a 2LT and 3LT, it's a little bit higher, like a better system and stuff like that. So I don't want to slack on that part of it. It has to at least be a 2LT. I was aiming for a 3LT, but 2LT is fine too, as long as it has certain things. Like I want the lift system where it can the memory or something where you can go like when you go over like your garage hump or whatever driveway, it can remember it and lift up a little bit so you don't scratch the bumper and stuff like that. I need the 360 cameras. I'm not worried about the two-tone interior necessarily, but me personally, I like if it's like, say I got Rapid Blue, I don't want the seats all blue, and I don't really prefer them all black. I feel like it looks too plain, even though black is still safe. I like the one with like black with a little bit of blue accents to it. That's dope. I don't like the gray interior. I saw a lot of Rapid Blues with that grayish white interior. I don't feel like that even looks right together, and it comes with yellow accents. Then it starts looking too play looking to me. It doesn't look as sleek to me personally. And then what is it? I don't want the highest end seats. I want the ones in the middle. I heard the highest end ones are like too tight on your sides. Like if you track it or something like that, it's cool, is what I heard in my research in the short period of time I've been trying to figure this out because I'm super serious. I almost went and just did it. I was going to put a good down payment and keep it pushing, but I'm not about to get got for, 25K over because you're losing. You're just straight losing all that money. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that there's going to be a markup. I had a markup on the Tahoe. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be markup on a lot of vehicles right now, especially the ones that are highly sought after. So the second to the highest seats is what I want. I prefer the two-tone seats, but I don't have to have the two-tone seats. I don't care about the stitching because I know you can pay extra. I think the 3OT has like colored stitching on the steering wheel, like where the airbag is and on the dash and the two-tone and all that stuff. Apparently, you can't have some of the upgrades without stepping to a 3OT or something like that. But if any of y'all know a way where I can pay only, because I saw some people only pay like $5,000 over. That's reasonable. You know what I'm saying? It's understandable. It's reasonable. But my particular dealer is also located right across from a CarMax, which makes it very difficult because they have to be competing with what they sell and buy things for. And it's like some people literally will go buy it for MSRP or close to it and then go right across the street and sell it. It's the same thing to do with watches now. It's the PlayStations, everything. It just ruins a lot of things, but it's the way it is, and everybody's trying to keep up with what's happening. So it's like the dealers are even raising their prices up, and they've been doing that for a long time, but it's just like, man, for 2022, they're still doing it for 25K. Now, he did tell me that he could negotiate it down a bit, but it's still like a hefty amount over where I could take that cash and just literally go buy a regular car or something in cash. So to me, it's still too much. Maybe 5 over or something, 6 over, maybe even 7 over, something like that. But I've seen people only pay less than that over. So it could be because they got a 1LT that, or it's non-convertible. It could be a lot of different factors, but I definitely don't want to pay more than like 7 over or something like that. Definitely not trying to pay 25 over. That's kind of crazy to me. That's a whole car in itself, and I'm going to lose that money. I look at it like if I get a good deal on a convertible 22, Rapid Blue or white, in the future, even a couple years down the road, as long as I take care of it, I feel like it'll retain most of its value. So that money that I put down on it, it's just like in reserve for me, and I'll eventually be able to get it back, or most of it. You know what I'm saying? The same thing happened with the previous Tahoe. We came out on top and it worked out. So with the way the market is now, I don't really see losing too much on buying certain vehicles, but it also depends on how much you got into the vehicle for. So if I got into the vehicle super marked up 25K or so, you're going to lose for sure in enough time. Now, this is the crazy thing. So I did more research and I found other Chevy dealers, like authorized dealers, a couple states over. And the crazy thing is, their markup was weird. They had like I'm just making a number up, 16K markup. Then they had an 8K discount. So it was only an 8K markup. And I don't know why they didn't just say that. It's kind of confusing to me. So then with that being said, the markup wasn't as bad, and they had a 2LT, so the price dropped significantly. So the other one I'm looking at well over 100, like 123, 125, right? 3LT, fully loaded. I just didn't really prefer the interior and little stuff, but it was nice, like 125, something like that. Then the one I saw that was 2LT was maybe, even with the markup, it was only like 86. So to me, that's like way more in the ballpark of where I'd like to be at. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, that's actually like, it was a white one with red interior. I didn't really want all red interior, but that's what they had. So I was like, all right, let me call them. I called the dealer. They had it because I talked about C8s and something that wasn't in inventory yet. It was on its way. They had to transfer me to another person, and I left a voicemail, and this was like going on a week ago. They never called me back. I'm like, I don't know if it's because that markup is good for like people like me from other areas try to go there and they have a waiting list and they're going to pick who they favor to get that vehicle, or it's just like all these politics and networking issues. I just want the car, man. Like if they didn't have all these issues, especially if it was MSRP, 100% I would already did it. So with this being said, now I'm seriously looking at a C8. I'm sitting here like, dang, do I even want a Tesla now? Do I really want a Tesla? I've been looking. So we have a Mercedes too, right? And it's only an E-Class, but it's white. It's still nice. It still has a nice look to it. Interior is dope. It's like when I was looking at Teslas the other day, there was like a white one because ours is white, and I was like, yo, we kind of parked near it on purpose because I kind of wanted to, like when I left the store or the restaurant, I came back, I kind of wanted to just see it like kind of like for the first time kind of feel. And I still leaned towards the Mercedes. The Mercedes just had more of a classy look to it. Maybe it's because the grill that's on there or something. It just had a little edge to it, like visually. Now, I know technology-wise, the Tesla's going to kill it in all kind of ways. But it's just like, it's so plain. I started thinking to myself, they're similar in size. And then I'm like, do I really want to get rid of the Mercedes and just keep the Tesla? Because I kind of am thinking it's redundant to have the Tesla and the Mercedes. Like they're very similar in size. They're both going to be white. One's electric, one's not. But other than that, why do we need both of these cars that are very similar? So I got a Tahoe is bigger. You know what I'm saying? I even, believe it or not, I'm looking at a minivan. As weird as a minivan is, it's like it's different. It's different than everything that's already there. It's not like I got one car that is a hatchback and I got another car that's a hatchback just in the same color. It's kind of doesn't make sense. You got to have different things, at least for me, in the position I'm in. I want different things for different reasons. And then this is a weird thing. I started thinking like, well, minivan. I started looking at a used Audi. I started adding that. Those weren't like the dream cars, so to speak. They were just functional cars for reasons that our household would need them for. But adding it up, it was still like 50 or 60. And I was like, wait a minute, hold up. I was just talking about buying this Tesla and I was dead set on it. Sometime this year, I was going to place an order. Then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make this happen right now. I'm going to put the deposit, order the Tesla. Then I was like, wait a minute. I ran across the other two cars and I was like, hold up. I'm looking at so the Tesla costs around 60, a little over 60, right? And I'm just like, hold up. These two little regular functional cars is going to cost the same price as a Tesla. Then now I'm confused because I'm like, hold up. I was going to get the Tesla later, but it's not like I can do Tesla and Tesla and Tesla and Tesla C8. I can't do all of them. You know what I'm saying? So I started looking at the two regular functional cars equals a Tesla. And then wait a minute. If I'm going to do the Tesla so it's like you get two functional cars or I get one Tesla. Then I'm looking at, well, if I get a Tesla and I pay a little bit more, I can get a C8. It ain't functional, but it's functional in the sense that how I want it to be functional. It's a fun car. It is a motivating, inspiring car for me. It's a conversation starter. It's not a Lamborghini, but again, it's still something that turns people's heads. It's still something that can provide conversation and stuff like that. And with me, with like networking and that type of marketing I do, it's just like it can help with certain things in that aspect too. So I'm trying to convince myself of all these different reasons why I should do it. And I'm thinking of all these things, and then the price that comes, and now there's an issue with getting it for closer to MSRP. And even the 3LT I saw, the MSRP on it was still about 100. It was like 98. So it's pretty much 100,000. It's just that, like I said, when they added that markup, you're looking at 125. Even though it can cut down a bit, that's just like, that's pretty high, man. You know what I mean? So it's weird because it's not something I thought that I was really going to try to aim for. But now I'm like, you know what? Let me really put my heels down and go for something like this. So yeah, I don't know, man. So this video is getting a little bit long. I've been talking a while already. I think like 11 minutes, 12 minutes or something like that. I didn't even get to the Tahoe part, but I wanted to, this is like kind of like a 2 or 3 part video, but I'm gonna put it in one. So the first part is just an update on the vehicle situation. I'm not getting rid of the Tahoe. It's driving well. It's driving good. They did fix the issue, but that was the update that I wanted to talk about as far as the the car that I'm bringing to my life, which I'm sharing on the channel. I think I said before, like I'm bringing it to the channel. I'm not doing it for the channel. I'm bringing it for myself to the channel. So I always try to find multiple reasons and ways to take advantage of my decisions. And the more reasons that I can find to make decisions, the more I'm going to lean towards actually making that decision. So if any of y'all out there, I'm on the East Coast. If anybody out there can figure some kind of way where I can get into a C8 white or rapid blue convertible 2022, right? It has to be the convertible. It has to be rapid blue or white, maybe red, but I really want white or rapid blue. All the details interior, 2LT minimum, 3LT idea. Doesn't matter which one. Somewhere, I understand I'm not going to get it for MSRP. Or unless you know a way that I can get it for MSRP, whether it means like ordering it from the dealer or something. If y'all know something that I don't know, please let me know because I'm trying to make this happen. So now I'm really like, you know, Tesla would have been cool for the channel too, because there's a lot of people like me who are searching it and really are interested. I was like, man, I could bring some content too at the same time of enjoying it. It's like multi-purpose, just like the C8 for me. I was like, maybe I should consider doing the Tesla for a lot of different reasons other than just my personal reasons. But now I'm kind of like, I don't know. Do I want this Tesla? The cool thing about the Tesla, there's not really a markup. I think it did go up a smidget, but it's not really a markup like you have on regular vehicles right now. And there's a form or some letter that went out with GM where they're saying to dealers, stop marking up vehicles. But I don't know how they're working their way around it. They're still marking up vehicles. So I'm kind of confused by that whole situation or circumstance. If you look it up online, there's like a forum about it where it was like a corporate letterhead or something that went out talking about stop marking up GM vehicles and whatever. It's not what they do, but dealers are still doing it. And as far as I know, the dealership itself is keeping the money, not the salesman. And it's just like, man, I get it though, because they're like, man, people just buying our vehicles and reselling them for higher. But my thing is, why do you even care? You still made your money off of it, what you're supposed to make. And I hate this whole resellers market thing. It is annoying, but I understand it. It is what it is. If somebody knows a way where I can get the best deal, please let me know. With that being said, now I'm to the Tahoe. So the Tahoe, doing my research, I was nervous that it was some kind of lifter issue. I don't know that much about cars, but I know a little bit. And doing my research, the lifters apparently have like a constant ticking sound that happens, right? My issue is not that. So I had driving about 20 miles an hour and slowing down. This is like right past the winter season. Always garage kept my Tahoe. I pulled out the garage and I hear this clunk sound. The clunk sound is almost like a sound that I could almost feel in my foot, like in the pedal, and it sounded like it was coming right underneath where I was sitting. I rolled down the windows and then I'm starting to think it's coming from the passenger side. It was very confusing, very hard to find. So I took the Tahoe to the dealership, and to kind of speed up the story, they had it for like a whole week straight. I'm not talking about like work week. I'm talking about like 7 days or so, maybe even 8 days. They had it for a while, and they put a good amount of miles on there. It was kind of surprising. I was like, man, why they have to drive it so much? Because to notice the problem, you didn't have to drive fast. You only had to drive like 20 miles an hour and slow down. It wasn't happening on highway speeds, but maybe they just had to check everything. I don't know, man. It was a lot of miles for how long they had it. And the thing of it is, they documented it that they drove that many miles. So I already knew how many miles was on the car when I dropped it off, but they documented it. So it didn't make it feel like they were doing something they weren't supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Like by trying to hide the fact that they drove it that far or that long. So I appreciate that. So I guess it's just necessary. I'm not a mechanic, so I don't know what was exactly necessary. They couldn't find out in the beginning. Look, if you ever take your car in for an oil change even, always stay there and wait. It's going to take a while, way longer than it should take. But if you leave it there, it'll be there like half a day and it might still not get your oil change until the end of the day. It's just, I don't know how it works, but they put stuff in front of your job that's more important. So it almost feels like there's no point for having an appointment. Sometimes it's just kind of weird. I left my truck there. I was there. I waited for it for like 3 to 4 hours just for them to tell me they weren't going to be able to fully get to it. They eyeballed it and couldn't figure it out. So long story short is they could replicate the issue, and they had to put something called chassis ears or something like that, where it's basically something that connects to different parts of the vehicle where they're trying to pinpoint where the sound is coming from, right? They even started thinking it was transmission issues, which is horrible. But I mean, hey, you're gonna fix it under warranty. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna read this paper and tell you. It says customer states clunking sounds coming from under the vehicle around 20 miles an hour when accelerating or decelerating. So what they finally figured out was because their regular techs couldn't figure it out. They had to go to their foreman, right? He's the one who took over the case. So basically, it was the active grille shutters that were slamming open without resistance, causing clunking noises. I didn't even know that the previous generation Tahoes had active grille shutters, and it's basically like these plastic flaps that kind of open and close that let air in. I heard it can help with like when you turn on your heater, it can make the car heat up faster. It can cause it to cool down more, give you better miles per gallon, all these different things that it does that I didn't even know existed. It's to a point where I got to go look at the bumper and see, are they actually in there? Because I don't remember it. I don't know, to be honest with you, but they're saying that's what it was. The parts itself was only $526.96. The labor was $1,076, and the total charge and 4 cents, and the total ended up being $1,603. I didn't have to pay for it or anything because of the simple fact that it's under warranty. I just bought it a 2022 with basically no miles on it, like a couple miles literally. And it says that they did extensive diagnosis and performed using the chassis or chassis ears. I don't know how to pronounce it. There's no code in the vehicle. The noise is intermittent. I can't talk. Intermittent. You know what I'm saying. And extremely hard to duplicate. It wasn't hard because they duplicated even without those ears. I guess it was hard to find and locate it. So the noise occurs only after reaching 7th or 8th gear, and then coming to a complete stop. It sounds like it's coming from the left front of the vehicle. The total road test miles was 84 miles. They drove with the ears attached to the front differential, the PS rack, transmission, transfer case, left front upper ball joint, lower ball joint, sway bar link, control arm bolts, brake line, went over the entire front of the vehicle, torquing all suspension components, driveline components, cross members, and body bolts, was able to narrow down noise from core support. Monitor grille shutter noise coming from the grille shutters. Unable to activate the grille shutters manually through the MDI2, which I believe is some type of scanner tool or something they use that can actually activate certain things on the vehicle. Yeah, and they couldn't do it for some reason. They said that's what made it a lot harder. So, and it says previous years you were able to activate the shutters, so they don't know why it's different, making technicians process a lot harder. So that's pretty much it. And these other receipts are all these things that I bought for the factory upgrade that I did. The only thing I want to do to the Tahoe now, I need to get my sub wired up. I have a JL Audio that I don't feel comfortable because all these electronic things. And now that it has a Bose in it, I heard that Bose, when you add a sub or something, you got to actually tap into like your noise canceling microphone and disable this and that. I don't want to do all that and mess up anything factory. So I'm real picky right now of who to go to and who I trust actually working on that part of the vehicle. So I haven't figured that out quite yet. I'm cramming a lot in this video right now, but I did a lot of factory upgrades, like little accessories and stuff like that to make the vehicle more of myself and my personality. All these receipts right here are for factory parts. Check out the video soon. I had a tough time recording the audio and the video quality of it, but hopefully I have enough in it where you can kind of get an idea of what I did. It's basically putting the dual quad. I don't know. It's two pipes on each side. So I don't know if there's quad tip, dual exhaust. There you go. But the difference is, and it's all factory fit and finished, every single part of it, heat shields, everything, except for the tips and the muffler unit itself. It's actually a Corsa Sport. I had a Corsa Sport before. It is pretty loud on cold start. It's part of the point. The funny thing is I'm naturally actually more attracted to the Borla Attack. It's kind of a deeper tone. Corsa is more of a raspy, kind of wild tone to me, like maybe like a Corvette or a sports car. I almost forgot. It's not really a cold start now, you feel me? But yeah. The only thing I don't like about it, because I added a Corsa cold air intake also, the only thing I don't like about it is because it's so loud now, and I actually miss having a quieter, smoother, more luxurious type of ride. I felt like my previous gen Tahoe was more of a truck kind of feel, even though I know it's an SUV. I call them trucks. It just felt more rugged. You know what I'm saying? This is more of a luxury feel to me, from the interior to the ride, comfort, everything. acceleration, even if it's the same engine, I don't know why it just drives smoother to me. I kind of liked it. And then now I feel like because it's so loud, when I step on the gas or the pedal, it's so loud compared to what I was used to that I find myself feeling like I'm not moving as fast as it sounds like I'm moving. So I tend to smash the gas even harder. And it kind of messes with my head that makes it feels like I'm losing power, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the system is still learning itself and everything else with the with cold air intake, and I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is, but I feel like I actually lost some power for some reason. It just doesn't feel as smooth of a pickup and acceleration that I had before. It's definitely louder, which is good for the reasons that I wanted it for, but I actually am half and half with it. I love the way it looks now for sure. I like the sound, but I also miss the quietness and smoothness of the ride. Like if I had an Escalade, I wouldn't want it to sound like this. I just feel like it's defeating the purpose of the quiet and the smoothness of the ride, etc. This Tahoe is not on an Escalade level, but to me, compared to my old Tahoe, it kind of feels like I'm more like I'm in an Escalade than a Tahoe to me. So that's why I'm a little torn about that, but it looks dope. Anybody want to know how I did it? Hopefully I can break it down enough where you can see what I did if you came from an LT or basically anything non-high country. I don't think they do the other one anymore, the premium for 2022s, but 2022 is still dope, man. Like they have independent rear suspension, which I don't, and if you don't have the magnetic ride, I believe 21 didn't have this option for independent rear suspension. I could be wrong. The AFM, which is basically, if I got the acronym right, I think AFM is where the car shifts to 4-cylinder mode, which a lot of people didn't like, especially if you added custom exhaust, because it just has a weird tone, is real heavy and kind of sounds like a droning effect. The Corsa doesn't have droning at all. The only thing weird is when you slow down to like almost a complete stop, the gurgle, it has a lot of like that throaty response, gurgly kind of sound in the muffler, more than my previous Corsa for sure. But as you start slowing down, the noise goes away. It cuts out like at like under 10 miles an hour. And then as soon as you get to maybe 5 miles an hour, the gurgling comes right back. It's kind of weird. I don't know why it does that. But 2022, they got rid of the AFM. There is no more 4-cylinder mode. It's just all V8 or something like that. And plus 2022s, as long as you get an LT or above, it has the digital screen on the dash and in the center is like normal. And if you ever seen the new Cadillacs, the Escalades, it basically the screen kind of switches across all the screens. So even though there's two separate screens, it looks like they're going, the graphic is shared amongst all the screens. So it looks like it's part of one view. You know what I'm saying? The Tahoe does that too. Like on a certain part of the startup, you'll see it says Chevrolet and it swishes back and forth. It's pretty dope. That's not on 21. So from the outside, somebody may not know I have a 21 or a 22. They look the same, but mine's a 22. So that is, so I talked about the future vehicle pickups. I talked about the Tahoe. What else was it I wanted to say about the Tahoe? I think that's it. Oh, I talked about the upgrade. I'm trying to figure out who can install or what to do with the Bose system install. Oh, the only other thing I'm interested in doing is the power step bars. I really want power step bars. I know I can buy aftermarket for maybe $1,500 and plug it in that way, but if I want factory power step bars, I think I got to pay around $3,000. The only problem with that is I heard you have to actually somehow put it in your, I think it's called PCM or whatever, the computer system, ECU, whatever it's called. The computer system in the car has to be programmed. I don't know how simple that is, and I don't know which dealer is going to be willing to do that for me or how much it costs. I have no idea, because basically on the display of the screen, the touch screen, it's supposed to be an option in the actual computer to turn certain functions on and off with the factory running boards. Everything I'm doing, I want it to be factory. So, with that being said, if anybody knows about that, leave a message below. And I think that's it. I need to really be more organized with these videos so I can start writing this stuff down so I know which topics I'm trying to jump, because I'm literally just going off the top of my head. And then I'm trying to think if I forgot something. But with that being said, make sure you do everything at top level, at your top level. Remember, you're no competition with anybody except yourself. So make sure your next move is your best move, or at least your better move. Till next time. Later.